fans, today I'll be doing a video on Alice in Wonderland. Reason why I picked this video is one of my favorite Disney movies as a child growing up. So today I'll be starting off with New Color Foundation. It's your average Dollar Tree general store or your average convenience store. Go to or Walmart and get this foundation. I'm going to put that on apply that on my forehead and cheeks, nose, and chin. I'm also going to apply it to my eyelids, my eyes. Also as a primer. And so I'm also going to use LA Colors Beige number C30845. Okay, so the reason why I chose this movie, besides it being like a psychologist's favorite movie interpretive of Alice and Alice's world, not only that, it starts off with Alice. It goes out to lunch with her sister, and she falls asleep, and she is daydreaming. She dozes off to daydream. It's a dream world. She follows the white rabbit, and I believe that represents curiosity. I'll be using Red Velvet 111416. And she follows the white rabbit, and I believe that represents the white rabbit represents curiosity, anxiety, and it's a people pleaser. And so she follows the rabbit and drinks a small drink, also eats a cookie. I believe for Alice that represents, I guess, the first taste of the adult world. And I guess the beginning of adult world, which is wrong. Stealing a cookie that's not yours and drinking from a bottle is not yours. So she cries tears, and then she rides her tears out through a keyhole on top of a bottle. And she meets Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They had two twins on her pathway, and they represent, I guess, the psyche, good and bad of the psyche, and they tell a more story of how greed can affect the person and how money can affect the person. How there were two friends and how they found a way to make money, and then one person had consumed what they were making money off of. Another person consumed with anger and temper and greed had just temper alone and just attacked the other person or gone after the other person. So from there she took a lesson from that story, and then she went on her way to the caterpillar. The caterpillar already know who she is, I guess by wisdom alone or by knowing her type just by looking at her. It represents like a judgmental character, or a judgmental person, or a person who's come across all types of people. I guess she helps her by telling her the story of the alligator and the fish, and how the alligator, I believe a circle of life type of thing, how the alligator is top of the food chain and eats the fish as the way for. So, the alligator represents the top of the food chain, and fish represents, I guess, the bottom for the alligator of the food chain, and how, people in society at the top eat or feed off of the society at the bottom. So, after the caterpillar flies away and tells Alice that she'll need the mushrooms to help her grow larger and grow smaller, I guess Alice takes a piece of the mushroom. And also, not only that, the caterpillar also tells her to watch out for her temper, anger, and how I guess the alligator represents people at the top, reprimanding or people at the bottom with their own temper or anger, or them using their own temper or anger, that type of thing. Or like reprimanding for the people at the bottom, reprimanding the people at the bottom for their own temper, anger, or chaos that gets in a hand. So after that, the caterpillar had flown away and then told her to use the mushrooms, which she used later on during the queen's court towards the end of the movie. But later on, she, like, after she collects the mushrooms, she then finds Rabbit, and she goes after Rabbit, and she finds Rabbit's house, and she happens to eat. I guess Rabbit confuses her first when he knew, and she happens to look for whatever Rabbit is looking for, his socks. And Alice just eats a cookie. She takes the cookie, that's his bite. And he's like, oh, mind if I do? And she just bites the cookie, and she grows big. And she takes up the space of the rabbit's house. I guess this represents the rabbit's thoughts or invasions of the rabbit's space or home life. And now, so when not White Rabbit, but when Alice goes to White Rabbit's house, she eats the cookie that says "Bite me," and she grows big, and that represents like her taking up the White Rabbit's thoughts, and he has like an invasion of her space and his own bubble or his own home, and he and I guess a pelican or his friend that stops by decides to light the house on fire because so she uses her critical thinking skills and being in the same situation before when she was hurt the first time and she had eaten a cookie and grown big, and she had drunk the bottle says drink me and went small, grown small. That's when she decided to get a rabbit from get a carrot from the rabbit's garden with the rabbit along holding the carrot and eat the carrot, and then that's when she turned small. And then knowing the rabbit was always late looking at his watch, so the rabbit runs off, and she runs off after the rabbit wanting to get out of dreamland or wonderland. And so not only she solves her problems, she uses her critical thinking skills to get out of her situation that she was in. And so she follows the rabbit, loses the rabbit again, and goes down the path towards flowers. And these flowers are talking flowers. And at first she meets like a little rocking horse with wings, which is so cute. It's a little horse. And it's adorable. And then she sees a little dog, a caterpillar dog, a little doggy, bee or a fly, and they're helping themselves to food with the flowers, or at least playing with the flowers. And so she joins them and she sings with them. After she sings with them and they introduce themselves to meet each other, they still don't like her. They still don't accept her into their flower garden. They don't see her as beautiful because she's not a flower like them. And I guess she looks different and she doesn't have petals like them. So I think that represents like how in the adult world society, how beauty in the adult world is looked at, and how no matter what you do, everything, or as much as makeup you do or wear, you won't exactly be liked by at least one person or someone out there. So despite being rejected, she moves along her way, and she's strong enough to move along her way, and she finds the cat on her path. And the cat gives her ideas of where to go, not exactly where it points her in the right direction, but gives her the idea, the thought of going to the Mad Hatter and the March Hare to get her home. And so using that idea or thinking about that idea, Alice just, blindly or just using her thoughts She's just used her GPS or intuition to go towards the tea. You chooses the path to go towards the tea party. So I guess the cat, led her there. And from the tea party, Alice is frustrated that they can't understand how Alice feels and understand her reasoning and logic, and how the Mad Hatter does not want to understand. And he, I guess, tries fixing Rabbit's watch, which is a friend of Mad Hatter and the March Hare. And I guess they represent snooty people in society, in the rich, or like the upper class back then in the 50s, 1950 movie. And how I guess they were broken on the inside. How no matter how much you try to logic or reason with that type of people or person, that they just see things their own way. And so she once again follows the rabbit, who's late, constantly late at all times, and she gets lost. And then the cat once again pops up and offers her the path, this time a straight path towards the Queen of Hearts, which will get her out of Wonderland. And so down she goes, the path. She sees cards painting white roses red, but she helps them paint, which she shouldn't have done, because they tell her that they get in trouble if the roses are not red. You should have helped them paint those roses in the first place. So, and next, afterwards, she plays with the queen. She plays a match of croquet using animals. And, I forgot one thing. When she was with the flowers, she was singing to the animals. So I guess she sings to the animals that like has wings and all, and she speaks to them with song. But anyway, once again, she plays with the queen in the match with croquet using animals, which is strange. She uses hedgehogs, uses all types of animals. Not only that, she also happens to be involved in, I guess, a court, Queen's Court. And I guess she's accused of painting the roses, the white roses, red when they should be white. I mean, when they should be red in the first place, they should go in red. And she accuses Alice of painting her roses red. And then the whole court is against her, and the cat appears above the queen's hat, or crown, and invokes chaos by appearing, and Alice points to the cat saying, "There's a cat in your head." And the cat just disappears, and reappears again, and then drives the queen into hysteria, and sends Alice, and in a way, I guess it shows that Alice is making fun of the queen, and the way she looks in her hat, or either that, or she's like trying to get her position as queen, or pointing at her hat, which she should not be pointing at the queen's hat or crown. I guess it's a sign of disrespect. So she sends Alex to be decapitated, and Alice then saves herself by eating a mushroom that the caliper had given to her, and she turns large to intimidate. I guess this intimidates the court and the queen and everyone. And then she once again eats the mushroom, or I believe it wears off, and then she turns then she turns small, very small, and then she escapes, and everyone, the whole crowd is out after her. The crowd of red and black cards are after her. The queen is after her. The king's after her. The small king and the rabbit. So they're all after her. So you can see like how the rabbit turns from, I guess, an ally to friend to a enemy within a split second when she becomes accused by the queen of, I guess, of tyranny. And then so of not painting of painting her roses red. So she just runs everywhere. They like chase after her through a maze. And then after she goes through the maze, I believe she then meets Caterpillar, jumps on a boat, sails through an ocean, and she tries to get Caterpillar's help while grabbing onto his mushroom while he's sailing in the ocean. And he acts like he doesn't know her. He said, "Who are you?" Like he doesn't know her. So it's like when she needs help as a friend, like when she gets to know him as a person and friend, they pretend like they know each other. But then when they see him with other people, they're like, they don't know you. They don't know who you are, or what you are, or where you came from, or why. What is your purpose? So that's the type of person the caliper is. As much as he knows about who this person could be or could become by just looking at the person, pretends he doesn't know her at all when she becomes, I guess, famous in the queen's court or castle, and becomes like a worldly, I guess, looked at, down upon in the queen's world, in dream world, the wonderland world. So, um, when she reaches a door, she went through the water, through the ocean, and reaches a door through a keyhole. She sees herself sleeping, peacefully sleeping. I guess unconsciously, she has the want and need to go back to what it was before she got inducted into society and into Wonderland itself, into adult society and Wonderland, dream world. So she wakes up and she returns home for tea with her sis, away from adult society with her cat, away from adult society and the world, dream world, back to her childlike wonder. Because the sister tells her to recite a teaching or a poem, I believe, and she recites the caliber moral, an alligator at the top of the food chain, and then the fish and the alligator eating the fish. So yeah, and she recites. She specifically remembers that because she sees the caterpillar at the end of her quest. At the end of her quest and the end of her journey, she then sees the caterpillar, recognizes him, but then recognizes also unconsciously that she had gotten a mushroom from him in order to help her escape the queen. So yeah, not only that, not only that, but so she knows, like in dream world, that she's, I guess, consciously awake or knows what's happening while she's dreaming before she wakes up into her own present world. And I'm surprised, like the cat itself, her pet cat, did not enter her dreams at this time. And yeah, that's surprised me. So yeah, it saves her. So yeah, that surprised me too. So yeah, I guess it gets like a moral of the story, how like a stranger you just met yesterday, you may not know by tomorrow, just may happen, just give you like some sort of advice, just happen to save you later on. Not only that, like I guess don't get too big headed, and like not everyone can I guess be there for you or hold your hand. And stay close to your friends. Trust your intuition. That's for sure. Trust your intuition. I believe she knew her intuition, then just followed her curiosity. She would not follow the right rabbit. You know? And yeah. So yeah. I guess that was a little bit of a life lesson for Alice. And a bit of I guess for this video is a bit of like more of a story, and like a bit of like a few like little lessons of how life is like up and down, and not just straight line, but up and down. So I'm glad you guys liked this video. I hope you guys hit the subscribe button below. Peace, love, and light. I love this classic movie, Alice in Wonderland, and I hope you guys love it too. It's a nice family movie. I hope you guys watch it and you see my interpretation of it, and you enjoy it. Love you. Peace, love, light. And guys, for the outfit, this is the outfit. It's like a white little dress, and it has like blue like top, cotton top. So yeah, this is my classic look for Alice in Wonderland. I hope you guys like it. Yeah.